We're in the middle of a desert. We're right next to the Mexican border. We're an hour and 45 minutes east of San Diego.
Our league was in San Diego. We would take 3.5-hour bus rides just to play a game. Game night is definitely small town football. You know, most of the community comes out to watch.
A lot of people don't know about small town football. When I first went to Calipat, you played football, but it wasn't like Texas or like Los Angeles or like Florida. After a while, I live in Bombay, there's nothing I can do about it. Let's do something about it and get up out of here.
I was the head coach, and he showed up as a sophomore. He's a little skinny guy. He had moved from LA to Bombay Beach.
There's nothing there. Like, there's literally nothing there. All the houses are abandoned. There's a sea there, but the sea's polluted. Dead fish, there's dead shells. At the beginning of the water, it's like bubbles and like fungus and all kind of stuff in the water.
Kind of a dead place. He arrived at our school because that school buses the students in from Bombay Beach. It's roughly 30 miles from Calipatria.
On a bus, it was like an hour, 2 hours, something like that. It was one straight road, no AC on the bus. The bus ride was terrible. Like, I hated the bus more than anything. I have no idea how I want to live here. Like, there's nothing to do, there's no kids, it's me by myself. That's when I started working out all the time. I always ran, always lifted, always ran on the beach. There were some hills I would always run on. My dad, he got me some weights from like somebody down the street. He got me like some old weights that I used. I think when I got isolated, that's when it really hit me, like I had to do something or I'm gonna be stuck.
Everybody wants to win, but if you need to win, you're gonna get it done, and he needed to prosper. That was his way out.
As I'm working out, I like to talk to myself. As I'm running, I'm looking around, seeing where I'm at, and it gave me nothing but more motivation to keep going. My junior year, I want to play, but I want to do something with football, like to change my life. And that's when it got really serious.
I just knew, there were times where I could give him that look, and he's like, I got you, coach, and then here we go. He needed to score touchdowns, and when we were playing a team that passed a lot, I needed him to play defensive back.
First time I actually met Cedric, it goes back to the first time I saw him play. I saw him running all over the field, jumping over people, just making plays everywhere. I understood, being from Calipat, first of all, our area in general, it's not heavily recruited. Cedric was just one of those other kids that had the ability, that didn't have the beans, didn't have someone, hey, how's it getting out there?
It really wasn't even on the map until Justin just, took the bull by the horns and just helped.
At the end of the day, we were just hoping someone would say, we like you enough to offer you a scholarship.
We were desperate for defensive backs when we first got here. We first got to Minnesota. We had 4 defensive backs on scholarship.
I had sent Coach Salvel film when he got hired, which I sent as many people as possible at the time to try to open up some more doors.
And all of a sudden I see a link and watch a guy that's really athletic, and I don't know the level of competition. I don't know the level of the people that he's playing, but he's clearly a lot better than the guys he's playing against. I think it was even 11 o'clock at night in California, which would have been about 1 in the morning here, and I'm calling Justin Hannon going, hey, tell me about Cedric Thompson.
In Minnesota, they called me on signing day, asking me to take a trip that following weekend. Then they offered me on the trip.
I just told him I was happy for him and I was proud of him, and that I loved him, and he put in the work.
That was our biggest thing, making sure he understood of how proud we were of how hard he worked to get to where he was going.
It was really emotional that day because it was kind of just like that, finally, like, it's here, like, I did it. But I knew the job wasn't finished.
Cedric is a guy who could have been a statistic, and he's not. He could have been a guy who went a number of different directions that weren't good. For him, if he left football and he left his scholarship at Minnesota, you know, that world that he would go back to isn't what he wants to go back to.
We have everything we need here. So I don't think anybody has an excuse for not working hard or complaining about anything.
He's where he needs to be. You know, I always used to tell him, hey, in the recruiting process, I said, Cedric, you're gonna be where you should be.
And I think that Coach Shaw could definitely say he could put Cedric Thompson on his win-loss record as a win.
I want to go to the NFL. That's my main goal. I think that's to put the cherry on top of everything. I don't want somebody to say like he didn't finish. Like I want to finish the job.
This next jump is a big jump. This next jump is for the elite people. This next jump is the biggest challenge that there is. He likes challenges. He's dealt with challenges all his life. We'll see if he can get to that point.